Hello everybody, this is Albert with Green Tea House. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk about Blue Flower Earl Grey Black Tea. Now before we begin, I highly recommend you check out our back catalog of episodes, in particular the episodes that have to do with black tea, and also just in general the playlist of Tea 101 and also the playlist of teas that we sell here. So this is the first, if you're watching these chronologically, on black tea. We've done the green teas that we sell, we've done the oolongs that we sell, and now we're entering the black tea. So as you see, we're going from no oxidation with the greens to little oxidation with white peony. And then we have oolongs, which are middle oxidation. Now we're in the black, which is completely oxidized. Now, Blue Flower Earl Grey is one of my favorite teas. I love this tea. It customarily is attributed to the Earl Grey. So this was a high-end lord of the early 1800s, and it's attributed to him that he was the one who tinkered with black tea. So if you're not familiar with Earl Grey is black tea. Normally, traditionally it was Keeman, which is a Chinese green tea. Sometimes it's Lapsang Shaoxing, which is another Chinese black tea. And then it's infused with the oil of bergamot. Bergamot is a type of orange. So it's got essentially orange essential oil infused in it. And that's why if you drink, let's say, just an English breakfast tea and then drink an Earl Grey, you'll notice the difference. And the difference is it has this citrus infusion. But he's been attributed to being the creator of the Earl Grey tea, and there's no real evidence to suggest that he actually did it. It's just one of those apocryphal things. Either way, it's not a black tea drink that's been around for a long time. It's only been around about 200 years, which is not long for tea. Tea's been around 4,000 years. So Blue Flower Earl Grey is going to have the traditional taste of Earl Grey, but also have the blue flower, which kind of gives it a more floral taste. And that's why Casey and I love this tea, and this is one of the reasons why we sell this one, not seasonally, but all the time, because it's just a great taste. Like if you like a black tea, I definitely recommend you check it out. So going back to black teas. So black teas are fully oxidized, meaning they've been plucked and they've been bruised to the point of all their cellular level enzymes have been broken down. And they do this in different ways. So in the black tea world, and we talk about this more in the black tea video, there's kind of two worlds. You have the orthodox teas and the CTCs. So with the orthodox teas, these are still tea leaves. You'll actually see the leaves. So we sell orthodox black tea. We don't sell any CTC. CTC is crush, tear, curl. So this is going to be when they get those orthodox black tea leaves, and then they just destroy it. And this started about 80 years ago. We've developed the machinery to just put in tea leaves and just breaks it down to essentially the consistency of sand. So when you drink black tea in tea bags, if you ever open them up, which nobody ever does, it's typically going to be this kind of sand consistency of CTC. Also know that black tea is the tea that we drink in iced tea. So black tea is the most consumed tea in the world because commercially, think about how many people are drinking black tea. So in black tea, fully oxidized, you're either going to have orthodox tea leaves or CTC. CTC is typically considered to be inferior quality black tea. And this is one of the reasons we don't sell anything that's CTC. We sell the full leaves. Now, when it comes to Blue Flower Earl Grey, how should you steep it? I would say, again, it's a black tea, so since it has a lot of the flavonoids that have been broken down or released because of the tearing of the leaves, you'll notice that with black tea, no matter what black tea it is, it has a more robust taste, and it has I guess for lack of a better word, a sweeter taste. And because the black teas have this, it is much more common with the fully oxidized black teas to mix in milk and sugar. And so you'll see this in the couple of black tea videos that we do here. You can drink Earl Grey, Blue Flower Earl Grey, with milk and sugar. This is commonly called the London Fog. You can drink it that way. And when we eventually do the chai, it's the same thing. Milk and sugar is quite common. So black tea is reddish in color. Its liqueur is red. So in China, they call it red tea. We call it black tea. Yes, it's confusing. Either way, so this tea can be steeped at a higher temperature because you don't have to worry about the bitterness or astringency that you have to worry about green tea. So when you steep green tea at 200 degrees, it's going to make it really bitter. Black tea's already been destroyed, so you really can't make a temperature problem with here. If anything, you could use a temperature that's too low, and you're not going to get the full robust taste of black teas. But with black teas, you can go anywhere from 185 all the way to 205, and I mean really, there's really no harm in even using full boil water at 212. Caffeine levels, typically the blacks are going to have more caffeine because of the way that they are produced. Now, that again is in context with coffee, and that even the Camellia sinensis teas that are fully oxidized, that way we say have a lot of caffeine, is really in perspective to coffee and to tea. So in the tea world, black tea as a whole is going to have more caffeine than the other teas. Present company of Gyokuro and matcha excluded because that actually has more caffeine. But compared to coffee, black tea still maybe a third of the amount of caffeine that you would be getting from coffee. So in closing, Blue Flower Earl Grey, it's got a little citrusy taste to it. It's fully oxidized, and you can mix it with milk and sugar if you like. And the caffeine levels are moderately high. Guys, post in the comments, what's your history of Blue Flower Earl Grey or Earl Grey? Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.